Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Hump Day Wednesday. So I just want to jump right into it. I really wanted to move on from talking from about refund delays and get into talking about other tax credits and deductions. But unfortunately, a lot of people are still delayed. A lot of people are still waiting for their refunds. And the information that is being provided on different social media platforms through taxpayers and tax preparers and people who don't know what they're talking about is just so crazy right now that I felt the need to make this a discussion one more time. And maybe not just talk about, the common reasons why, but break down some of the issues that are going on that can affect why you have not received your refund if you have not received your refund. So today is the second drop. So that means that people who was affected by the PATH Act, today, more refunds have been released. So before I get into the reason why some of your refunds might not have been released, let's talk about how the PATH Act work so that, again, you know what's going on. So people who had EITC, ACTC, which is additional child tax credit, they could not, their returns could not process until after February the 15th. After February the 15th, the PATH Act law is supposed to be lifted and the IRS is supposed to be able to process your tax returns. Now, it doesn't matter what day you filed prior to February the 15th. If you had those credits on your tax return, what that means is that after February the 15th, that's when the processing of your tax return starts. So if you have not received your refund, nor have you received a date, the IRS has 21 days to release your refund from the date that they start processing. So some of you wouldn't have received a date just yet because the IRS has 21 days, unless your return is flagged for various reasons. So with some of you all, you just have not made the 21 days. The IRS just have not got to processing your actual tax return. That is simple as that. Like, they just have not got to you just yet. You might not have no issues. You might not have any codes on your transcript that indicates that your refund is on hold. That means that you might get a date this weekend and you might get your money next week. Now, after next week, the 21 days will be up. So if you have not received a date or you have not received your refund, that means that it's a hold on your tax return. And that means on your transcript, if you're seeing the code 570, that means that the IRS has your return on hold for processing. Now, it could be various reasons why your return is on hold. Now, I went into the various reasons last week. I went over the great majority of all the reasons it could be on hold. But let's talk about the things that are really going on in reference to returns possibly being on hold. So one thing is, and let me say this before I get into that, this happens every single year. I am in my 20th year of filing income taxes, and this happened to taxpayers every single year. It doesn't matter whether or not you've been filing taxes all this time and it has never happened to you. But unfortunately, this is something that is very common. The IRS selects so many returns to flag and hold for, again, various reasons every year. That's why we are always telling you do not start counting your money, because once we prepare your taxes as tax pros, we have no control over what the IRS do. And when your return gets to the IRS and how it's going to be processed, as tax pros, we don't have anything to do with it. Okay? Everything that happened from the point that your return goes off to the IRS, everything else is in the IRS hands. We don't have a magic wand where we can make it come faster. We don't have any type of pull to make the IRS release it. And half of the time, we don't know, just like you don't know, why they're holding it. Now, it's a lot of people who are on hold, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with your return. Now, I know it's common nature that if your refund is being held up, for you to panic, especially if you need the money. And the first thing when something goes wrong, as humans, what we do is we start to try to figure out why. That's common. That's very understandable, right? But understand this. There are tax returns that are held at the IRS right now that has absolutely nothing wrong with them. They got flagged for whatever reason. And unfortunately, when your return get flagged, it has to go through a manual review. That's why it takes way longer for you to get your refund, because now it has to go through a manual review. Now, you also have to know this. The IRS system is a computer system, meaning that computer systems and softwares have problems all the time. So every year, the IRS have glitches in their system as we are submitting returns all across the United States to their systems. They usually have some type of glitch, right? And if your return is sent during a time that their system is having a glitch, your return can get flagged for no reason. Literally, it can get flagged for no reason, and unfortunately, that happens to a lot of people. So half of the returns that are flagged at IRS right now is due to probably a glitch in their system at some point in time when the returns was actually sent to them. Now, there's other issues that take place, which is the documents that you all get when it comes to filing your taxes, like your W-2s, like your 1099s, like the 1098s. A lot of those particular documents are not at the IRS just yet. The W-2s and 1099s have to be out to the employers, and they're supposed to be at the IRS by January 31st. But all employers and people who have contractors, they're not all sending their forms to the IRS on time. So the IRS don't have everybody information in their database just yet. And with some forms, like the 1099Ks and the 1099s INTs and other tax forms, they're not even due to be into the IRS until today, the 28th. So a lot of times the IRS are holding returns because the information is not verifiable. Something on your return is not verifiable because it's not in their system. And from my understanding, I can't verify if it's 100% accurate, but I do try to keep up with the news of what's going on just to see, what could some of the possible issues be. And one issue that I'm hearing about is the fact that it's a system or requirement that people who filed W-2s had to do prior to the 31st that a lot of them didn't do on time, which in turn made delays happen in reference to their information actually being at the IRS, which ultimately could have caused your return to get flagged. I also have heard on certain dates of different glitches in the IRS system that your return might would have been sent through that time that caused your return to get flagged. So nobody really can tell you like why your return is being held up. Even if you call the IRS, understand this. The IRS has workers, okay? And most of their workers are new. Not only are they not just new, a lot of times they are trained based off scripts. Meaning, if you call into their company and you ask a specific question, they have a script to read back to you. So, to answer your question, that means that the information that they're providing to you might not be accurate. I tell my clients to call. If you're going to call 3 different times and watch you get 3 different answers. That's why you cannot always say, well, the IRS said this, because the IRS, unfortunately, is not always correct either. Now, I know that we are supposed to trust them over what somebody else say, but unfortunately, that is not the case. Like, they're going to tell you anything. And some of them are going to tell you the truth. Some of them are going to know what's really going on with your return. And some of them are not. But, first of all, if you was affected by the PATH Act, they got 21 days anyway. Now, a lot of you are reading your transcripts. A lot of people are pushing you to read your transcripts so you can try to keep up with it, because Where's My Refund is not always accurate. And it's definitely not always accurate, because if you go to Where's My Refund, for some taxpayers who are waiting for their tax refund, you will get the message that says something about the PATH Act. Well, really, why is that up there? It should not be up there anymore. Why? Because the date for the PATH Act to be lifted is gone. That should be an indication to some of you that the IRS system is not updated. It's just not updated. So, if you have a 570 on your transcript, then 9 times out of 10, you are on hold. Now, does it mean that you're going to have to wait a long time to get your refund? That's a possibility not. Why? Because the IRS did have glitches in their system. And we don't know how they're going to correct the glitches, or if they're going to really manually go through all the returns to review them, to release them. Nobody knows that. But understand that just because your refund is on hold do not mean that somebody did something to your actual tax return to make it on hold. Now, there are things that can make your refund be on hold, and you could have got flagged, because the IRS do have filters up to flag certain type of returns. So you could fall in some of those categories. But again, everybody do not fall in the red flag category. Some people, unfortunately, is just got flagged, and nothing is absolutely wrong with your tax return. You just got flagged, and you got to wait for someone to release your return. Now, we as tax pros, because I know I have a lot of tax pros watching this video or watch my videos. We as tax pros got to do a better job on educating our clients and telling our clients the truth, and not being a part of the problem. Okay? Because and some of you are constantly putting false information on your social media and spreading false information for views and to gain clients. And then on the flip side, and we come and you complain that the clients are upset because they're hearing all types of information. We got to be a part of the solution and not be a part of the problem. So stop spreading all the lies. And then the other thing is that I know y'all have all these groups. I know we are on TikTok. I make a lot of videos, and you don't know if the information that I'm providing is true or not either. Right? I suggest that most of the information that I provide is somewhere on the internet. It's on the IRS website, or it's in a news article from somebody who really knows. So at the end of the day, we gotta be understand that people just gonna say stuff. I had a client yesterday telling me somebody she heard in a group where they saying if you paid out of pocket, then your refund return will be processed by now. That's the craziness that is going around out here in reference to, you know, your refund being refund being released. And that's just ridiculous. Okay? People who file their own tax return, a lot of their returns are held up. People who go through tax pros, a lot of their returns are held up. I'm not going to tell you that with some people, it could be something your tax pro did or put on your tax return to get you flagged. And usually those types of things are real fraudulent things, meaning those are things they put on your return that you really didn't have. And on top of that, it's something ridiculous that most people don't have, because all credits are true. But it's a lot of credits that's out there that's getting people big refunds that are 19,000, 20,000, 30,000. If you are one of those people who got those type of refunds, then it's a great possibility. If yours is held up, it's because your tax pro did something to your return. Anybody else who got normal refunds, that normal refunds are usually 12,000 and under. People do get refunds over 12,000, but they are far in between. Okay. Then 9 times out of 10, it's probably nothing that signified that something's wrong with your return right now that the IRS is gonna flag, unless they choose you for an audit to verify your dependents, or if they choose you to verify your wages. Other than that, you just flagged. You just got selected to do another review on your tax refund before they actually release your refund to you. The IRS system don't even catch certain things that quick until later on. So again, let it make sense. If people did their taxes on their own and they're waiting, what's the difference from the people that got their taxes done with the tax pro and they're waiting? And please stop believing everything that goes around the internet. Okay? Because it's not always what it is. Okay? It's just not all what it is. And there are a lot of different things that are going on with returns that the IRS are showing on their site that they flagged this year for whatever reason. But understand that it's outside of your tax pro. If you went to a tax pro, it's outside of anything that we can do. So I just encourage you just to be patient. Nobody wants to hear to be patient when they're waiting for some money. I understand that. But at the end of the day, there's nothing nobody can do if your money has not been released until you receive a letter. If you receive a letter and they're telling you what the issue is, then you need to go ahead and respond to that letter as quickly as possible. If you don't understand how to respond to that letter, then you need to go back and see your tax pro. The person that did your taxes, not the people who didn't do your taxes. Go see the people that did your taxes and allow them to assist you to answer whatever they're asking for. A lot of people got selected for verification. They up verification this year. So if you got selected for ID verification, if you verify your ID, then guess what? Your refund is on the way. It just might not be on the way within these 21 days. And some people, I have clients that had ID verification and the IRS turned it around immediately and they have already got their money. So that's how I can tell you that everything and every situation is different. So you got to just take it how it is, because the IRS control all of this. Nobody but them control all of this. Now, if your refund has it goes longer than 60, 90 days and you haven't received your refund, then I recommend to you all to seek a tax advocate. Okay, seek a tax advocate. Tamika, I see you talking about your refund freeze for maybe possible credits, and you say you have not received a letter, and a lot of people are talking about they have not received a letter. So know this: the IRS might not even send your letter until after the 21 days. Okay, some people might have received letters before then. Right? It's kind of like in the order it's received, how they decide how they're going to process certain tax returns. So you might not have received the letter. And guess what? You might not even get a letter. Right? Because in some cases, somebody might go in there and review it and then just release it. Honestly, nobody really knows for real, because they really do what they want to do. I just, my advice to a lot of you all is don't be calling these tax companies. The IRS is going to tell you anything, and up to 180 days is ridiculous. That's like 6 months. But that can happen. Okay? But again, they do tell you anything, so you might can get it before then. Just depends on, I don't know what credit it is, I don't know what it is, but it could take up to 180 days because they have done that. But it can be lesser. Call somebody else and see what they say. See if it's different when you call again, because again, they give different information. So only thing you can do right now is kind of wait. I just kind of wanted to come here and really just kind of really talk to y'all and kind of give y'all the real insight. Some issues is some tax pro softwares had glitches in it. They say TurboTax software had glitches in it at some point. And that happens. It's technology. It really does happen. Karen, you will have to contact the IRS, because if they was the one that sent the letter, that would be who you contact. Now, what department, I don't know, but they will be who you contact. Yeah. So I just kind of wanted to get on here, and I know I probably didn't say nothing nobody wanted to hear, but I just needed to kind of get that off my chest, because it's crazy out here. Y'all be making me not even want to do taxes no more, because we get blamed for everything, and we don't got no control over none of the stuff. We got no control over that stuff. The IRS determines who get their money. We don't have nothing to do with it. I'm looking at my notes just to make sure that I went over everything that I said I was going to go over. Yep, I think I did. So you're welcome, Karen. I'm sorry for those who refund is held up. If it was in my control, I would just blink my eyes and release your refund. The crazy part, again, is the fact that, and I said tax pros, but let me say this, like, you might have did your own taxes and you might think you did something wrong while the IRS holding your refund. And you might didn't do nothing wrong either. It could just be you got flagged. So we do have a lot of people calling our office trying to get advice from us, and we didn't do their taxes, of course. So a lot of people think they did something wrong, and you might not do nothing wrong either. It just might be the IRS. Yeah, I did, Tiffany. I touched on, yes, I'll say it again since my sister reminded me in the comments for those who might didn't hear me before. It doesn't matter if it's never happened to you before, because you can be 50 years old and been filing taxes all this time, and then this year you got flagged. Like, it doesn't matter. And then I know it's a lot of talk in reference to things that and credits that people gave people last year or credits that people got this year. Some of those people got paid, right? That's how messed up the IRS system is. Like, you don't know who's gonna go through the system and they should have got caught up versus the people that don't got nothing wrong on their tax return and they get flagged. That's literally how their system works. So I don't know what else to say. But for those who don't know, I am Gwinnetta Wright. I don't even say my name no more. I just get straight to the point. If you're watching my videos and you are looking for a tax pro, we are still a self-employed client, so we do taxes all year, but we're definitely in the office every day except for Sundays, and up until the end of tax season. If you are out of town and you would like for us to do your taxes, you can submit your information on our website at www.experttaxservices.com. It's in the comments. And I'm sorry, y'all. And if you're watching this replay, drop in the comments, where you're from, what city, what state, where you're from. Also, if you're a small business owner, drop in the comments your business. You don't know who might see it. Okay, so drop in the comments, like your website, your Facebook page, your TikTok page, wherever you making money at, and they can get your product or hire you for a particular service. Drop it in the comments. Y'all know what to do. So if you feel like this information will help someone else, please share it out. Please tag people. Please make sure that this information get out, because I'm so tired of hearing all this stupid stuff. It's just to be stupid. Do you hear me? Just stupid. Y'all make up some crazy stuff. Oh, y'all making some crazy stuff. It's just so bad out here. Okay, so I'll come to y'all next week. Hopefully I'll talk about credits. I'm thinking about going live over the weekend to talk about fees, because y'all got a misconception on tax prep fees too. So y'all gonna stop lying on this profession. Like, yeah, some of it's true and some of it's not. And I'm one of them that it's not true about. So I want to make sure that we have a clear understanding, and that we can shake down some of these myths. So I'll talk to y'all next week. Well, I might talk to y'all this weekend, but if not, I'll talk to y'all next week. And we'll get back to talking about credits, because everybody hasn't filed. So if everybody ain't filed, I need to make sure you get the info. So I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.